Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. I'm taking you through my morning routine. If I'm going to do makeup for the day, exactly what I do. I'm using a few new products in today's video and then some older favorites that I have enjoyed quite a bit in my collection, and I'm putting everything together to give you my routine of what I would do when I want to look put together and do every single step of my routine, from corrector to concealer, foundation, in the correct order, of course. But if I wanted to do all of those steps, I'm going to show you exactly how I would do it and just take a few minutes. Now, it'll be a lot longer because of the video. I'm explaining things and we're kind of chatting and talking about the products and why I do certain steps and use certain products. But if I'm doing this without talking or any distractions, it can be done in 10 minutes tops. Even less if I do it pretty quickly. So 10 minutes in the morning, and I feel like it's putting my best foot forward. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you want to see how to do the look, then keep watching. This is kind of my routine of what I do when I want to put myself together and I want to do a little bit more than just mascara or just the brows, and I kind of want to keep everything pretty easy and simple, but I don't want to have tons of makeup on. I don't want to feel like I'm wearing heavy layers of makeup throughout the day. Certain things in this routine is exceptionally valuable to me right now because I am tossing and turning at night and I'm trying to get comfortable. The lighting may not show it pretty accurately, my dark circles. It is pretty dark and cloudy. We actually are having a gloomy day. We recently had snow in September here in Colorado, which is crazy, but I'm not surprised. It may be surprising to some of you who are dealing with warm temperatures, summer weather, or extreme heat, and I am so sorry if you are in one of those states where it is extremely hot, and my heart goes out to you. But we are right now in a very cool climate. Temperatures are going to change a little bit here soon, so I'm not really concerned about it. But it's kind of dark, and the lighting may not show my dark circles, but I do use a corrector, and I've been using a corrector for my under eyes. Sometimes I just use that, sometimes concealer over the top. And I'm going to kind of just walk you through that because my under eye area is pretty dark and I can use all the help I can get. Plus, I am acne prone, so I do have breakouts. I have scarring from previous breakouts that I've had over the last couple months. The first trimester of my third pregnancy. If you haven't seen my video, I am pregnant with my third baby. I have all those videos posted up in the cards, and unfortunately one of the things that started happening was breakouts, skin texture, dryness. So my skin is going crazy. So again, it's not conducive to wearing a lot of makeup because it does accentuate the dryness and certain areas of my face that I'm not happy about right now. But what's most important is staying happy and healthy because I am pregnant, so my skin can take a back seat and it can wait until after the baby's born. So enough blabbling. I did put this on, my primer, off camera, and I forgot to turn the camera on. Yay me, pregnancy brain, but I'm using the E.L.F. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. I talked about this in my previous video, and this one is the one that smells like watermelon, and it's completely clear, and I have it on, and it just kind of feels a little tacky, which I think is great for letting the foundation kind of stick to your skin and keeping it in place. So I do like that, and I love the smell of watermelon, so that's really nice. I have, for my foundation, the one that I chose today, and I think, yeah, I did put it back. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Foundation. I do have the concealer to go with this. I love the concealer. I have it in Fair, and this is in the shade number 150 Creme Brulee. That's what I use in the foundation, and as you can see, I'm getting down to the last bit of it. Really great foundation. I discovered this several months back, so that's what I'm going to use today. Got my damp beauty sponge. Got 2 pumps of the product on a makeup palette, and I'm just going to start with applying a very thin layer and then kind of building in areas where I need. And for me, the cheek area is usually the area that I need the most help in because that's where I typically break out. I don't break out usually on my forehead, nose, and chin. So for me, it's just dealing with the scarring and breakouts on my cheeks. So I do take some time to kind of go over those areas. And if you have any areas where you have darkness or imperfections, scarring and things like that, that's where you want to concentrate the most and put thinner amounts everywhere else. So that's kind of my thing. I would recommend that you start with thin layers and just kind of build up in areas where you need it the most, or you can go in with concealer, go in with extra layers in the areas where you feel like you need the most. Now, if you like wearing full coverage makeup every day, then go for it. You know, it's your makeup, it's your routine. There's really no rules. But for me personally, I just like thin layers. And you can still see a little bit of it, and I'm totally okay with that because it is what it is. This is my skin, and this is just the phase that it's going in right now. So I'm just going to kind of move on. I don't really want to spend too much time on it. I'm going to take some more and go around this side here. I think what annoys me the most is that they can be a pain to cover, and you have to use like correctors and layers and all this kind of stuff. And then I just got to the point where I'm just like, I'm done. I quit. I'm done with you. So I'm just moving on. Moving right along. Okay, so for correctors, the first one that I really got into that was more high-end is the Charlotte Tilbury one, and I really like this one. And then I also have the corrector from Bobbi Brown, an extra light bisque. Both of them do essentially the same thing. The tones are slightly different, and I will show you what the tones are. So here's the Charlotte Tilbury, and then here is the Bobbi Brown. Charlotte Tilbury is a lot larger than the Bobbi Brown. The Bobbi Brown, I have it in extra light bisque because I thought that would be a better match, but I probably should have just gotten the light bisque color. I think that would have been closer to this one, but that's okay. This is what I'm working with here. All right, so the corrector is done. I did Charlotte Tilbury on one side and Bobbi Brown on my right side. Doing a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to share with you guys how that turns out in a separate video, probably either Monday or Tuesday next week. Or maybe it'll be posted before this actual get it ready with me kind of thing. So I am kind of doing two different products under my eyes just to see how it works. And I do really enjoy both of these. The two correctors I have in my collection. I'll have everything listed down below for you if you're curious about what I'm using today. And I also like using a brush like this. This is the 142 Concealer Buffer Brush. This is from Zoeva, but many brands have brushes that look like this. That's rounded. It's a dual fiber brush, and it allows you to get right in here where you have some darkness and maybe some shadowing right out here. Also use your finger, or even if you use a beauty sponge, the point of your sponge will be sufficient enough to kind of blend that out. I do like to use this, and you know what? Why not? Let's just use a little bit of this. And I'm going to just do maybe 2 dots here. And then I just use my pointed sponge to kind of blend it in. And I do bring this down because the shade Fair is quite brightening for my under eye area. So bring it down, not too crazy triangle motion, but just enough to create some brightness. All right, so I lowered my ISLs just a little bit because it is quite gloomy and bright outside, and that kind of made my face look a little ghostly. So now that I have my foundation, concealer, corrector, and all that, I do like to set it. And I've been using the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This was part of the birthday gift for Sephora that I got at the beginning of the month, since my birthday was the beginning of September. I normally just use a very simple, basic translucent powder, and I will show you the one that I have been using a lot, and it's the one from number 7. You get it at Target. And it's just a translucent, perfect light, loose setting powder that's hypoallergenic. This tub will last me the rest of my life. And that's what I use. I also have like the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I mean, there's so many of them. I also like to use the E.L.F. Halo Glow powder. It has a little bit of a sheen and shimmer to it, but it's not crazy. And it actually reminds me of the Hourglass one without the $50 price tag of Hourglass. And this one is like $8. You can get it at Target. It comes in 3 shades, and I do think it's quite nice. But I do like the Hourglass one, and it, you know, it's kind of fancy. It's something new in my collection, so I'm going to use that one. And then I'm going to add a little bit of my primer. This is the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Alright, so the next thing I have to do is brows, and I usually keep this pretty simple. I like to use a tinted brow gel, and my favorite one is the one from Benefit. This is the Gimme Brow, and I use the shade number 3. I also like using pencils too. I have a couple that I like. I have one from Revlon, this one from CoverGirl. It's pretty thin, and they get the job done very well, and I do really love the CoverGirl one. I think it's like $5 or $6, and I use a shade called Rich Brown. And so if you're looking for a good drugstore brow pencil, I will have some of my favorites listed down below. But I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Benefit Gimme Brow. And it's got a very small little wand, so I like to start in the beginning part of my brow and kind of comb this through. And usually I don't really get too crazy with my brows, but there are, you know, certain little spots that I do want a little extra. Like this brow is a little thinner than this one. And right in here, I have like a little bit of a gap. And I like to come in with my pencil. And then right over the top as well, I'm kind of missing some hair there. And it actually has not grown back. And I think it's just from over plucking and tweezing over the years. And then I just like to go quickly over my brows with just a simple clear brow gel, just to make sure everything is nice and set. My brow hairs are quite long, but because they're so thin, if I trim them really short, it's not going to be a good look. So I just let them grow longer. So bronzer, I'm going to use my bronzer from E.L.F. This is the one that is the primer infused, and this is in the shade Forever Sunkissed. Looks like that. And I just like to take a little bit of this just to kind of warm up my face a little bit. And I don't really spend a whole lot of time doing this, especially for like my everyday makeup routine. And then I just kind of pat it over this area where I have extra product for my blemishes. I don't want to lift anything, so I just kind of like pat it and kind of tap. And then I do go over my nose as well. Lids. Sometimes I just do this through the crease and I use the same brush, and that's it with mascara. If I'm in a pinch, if I need to be done quick. And this is such a good bronzer, and it is matte, which I love. I'm going to go in with another E.L.F. product. This is the Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Punchy, and these two are fairly new to my collection. And I really do enjoy it. This is a nice, like, peachy coral color. Lift my spirits since we're kind of like in very gloomy weather. So I just kind of smile and put in the apples of my cheek. It's very pigmented. Easily go overboard with this one. I mean, I go overboard with blush all the time. I always do. Take my beauty sponge with no foundation or product, whatever's just left on there, and just go over everything. So for highlight, I'm going to go in with my Physicians Formula. It's the one that I picked out of my collection for today. This is the Butter Highlighter in the shade called Pearl. And honestly, I just go in with my same brush or any real highlighting brush that you have. I have some, but can't seem to find one when I need one, so I'm just going to use this brush and just hit the... Oh, it smells so good. It smells like summer, even though it feels like winter right now here in Colorado. And I just go like the high points of my face, down the bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, a little bit through the temples. Take a little bit right through the brow bone. So that is my complexion products, foundation, concealer, corrector, powder, brows, blush, and bronzer, and highlight. So we've gotten everything done, but it doesn't feel heavy. You can still see my skin. You can still see some imperfections. It doesn't look like I'm wearing lots of layers. And so the next thing that I do is work on the eyes. Typically, I would just do some tight lining with a pencil. This is a black eyeliner, the Urban Decay 24/7 in 0, and then a good 2 coats of mascara. And I use currently the Maybelline, the Falsies Lash Lift. But I think today I want to do a little bit extra because I have this cream eyeshadow from Bobbi Brown in the shade Dusty Mauve that I have yet to use, and I got it recently. And I do like using cream eyeshadows because it's a whole one shadow look. And you guys, if you've been watching my videos for some time, you know how much I love one shadow looks because it makes the eyes look even more put together. The whole face comes together even more, but it doesn't take a lot of time. So cream shadows, whether in a pot or a stick form like this, like a crayon, really are game changers. And if you haven't tried them, I will put some of my favorites down below, and hopefully they work for you. But I'm going to go in with a little bit of this. And this one I have not used, so I'm not quite sure how dark this is going to be. So I'm going to start close to the lash line. And I'm going to get my mirror. Let's use my little mirror from my corrector. And I'm going to use my ring finger to blend this out before it sets, because I'm not quite sure. It says long wearing, so I feel like I have to work and kind of blend this before it's too late. And I do think I need to put a little bit more, so I'm going to take a brush and just pick up a little bit of that and kind of go right around my crease to pull that color up without actually using the crayon itself, because that's going to deposit way too much product, and I want to make sure that it's kind of blended. And again, it just took a few seconds, and it doesn't take a lot of effort or time, and this is something that I do often, but not every single time. But I'm finding that I should, because that literally didn't take very long at all to do. Oh, this is such a pretty color, man. I'm so glad I got this one. And you could take the same product and go under the lower lash line, but I'm going to use my brush and just kind of do a light wash right under my lashes, mostly on this outer part here, making sure it connects to this outer part of my eye. I'm going to tight line with my pencil that needs to be sharpened badly. And then mascara. But the final step is lips. And honestly, I do like glosses often. I'm a gloss girl, and I will be till the day I die, because I just prefer having shiny glossy lips. If it has a little sparkle, it's fine. I'm going to use the one from Patrick Ta in She's Expensive, so that's what it looks like. Very soft, kind of like a clearish color that you can put over anything or on just your natural lips. You can do lipstick, liquid lip, whatever. Feel free to take this any direction. This look, if you follow something very similar in tones, will be great for doing something a lot more bold, like a dark vampy lip, especially now that we're coming into fall here soon. You can do that, but I'm all about the nudes. So I'm going to use the Maybelline Color Sensational Lip Liner in the shade Nude Whisper, and I like using nudes. I feel like that's just kind of more of my thing. And I'm going to start by lining my lips. It's really simple. And this reminds me of my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. I feel like this one is a little bit more precise because it's a lot smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to go over it with a little bit of the Patrick Ta She's Expensive gloss. When it smells kind of minty, and it feels like peppermint. And notice how not too much of that lip liner is rubbing off. Really great stuff. Really affordable. I think it's like $6. So like I said, I'm all about using nudes. I like nudes. And I also have the newest lipstick to my collection. It's the Bobbi Brown Crushed Lip Color in Cezanne Nude. I really like that as well. But any gloss is fine, honestly. Even chapstick most days. So that is it. That is my morning routine. If I'm going to do makeup and do all these steps, this is exactly what I do so that I feel more put together and feel more ready for the day. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Check out the description box because I'll have everything listed down below for you. So you can screenshot any part of the list if you're interested. And you can also follow me on social media. I'm mostly on Instagram and Insta Stories versus Twitter and Snapchat. So that's the best place to find me, and I'll put it up on the screen here. Hope to connect with you there. Take care, you guys, and I'll catch you in my next video.